how do you feel about white authors writing non-white characters? Let's leave out the gender for now, because I feel like that's a whole different discussion.
Sure.
So let's go with the ethnicity. What do you think about that?
One of the greatest crime writers, and if I'm to choose, if I'm forced to say people who've influenced me in crime writing, James Patterson.
Okay.
James Patterson's Alex Cross is black. James Patterson has written more books than anybody, about 400 million copies sold and climbing. He's the most prolific, most successful crime writer in the world. His character is black. I believe you can write any character so long as you have empathy. If you can put yourself in the place of another person, you can start to understand them. I'll never know what it feels like to be a woman, but I can empathize with women, and I know women. I grew up with women. Before gender was a thing for me as a child, I knew women. I had sisters, I had moms, you know, I related with them. I still relate with them. Human stories belongs to everybody. So I have absolutely no qualms writing a character that is English, American, female, none whatsoever. And if people have a problem with it, I would want to understand what bothers them. I'd really want to engage with them and understand what bothers them, see what I can learn from what bothers them, and understand where they're coming from. But I enjoy writing Amaka so much. In fact, I wrote a piece of writing that I did anonymously, posted online, called Chronicles of a Runs Girl. And in Chronicles of a Runs Girl, I wrote from it was a first-person narrative by a woman, whose name incidentally is also Amaka, but is a younger Amaka. And the Amaka of the thriller series comes at the last chapter to do what she does, you know, for this girl. So the senior Amaka comes and does what she does in the series for the younger Amaka. But in that piece of writing, it's a full novel. You know, in fact, I learned years later, after I'd forgotten about it, that it had been studied at the university in Birmingham. It had been on the curriculum. So one of the lecturers teaching it told me, like, I just found out you wrote this. Is it true?
Wow.
You know, and I wrote from first person. And you know, when at the height of it, when I was publishing a chapter every weekend on this satire website, people were making guesses as to who's writing it. And a lot of people thought it was Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie.
Oh.
And that's like one of the most, one of the sweetest things I've ever heard. I loved it.
What a compliment, right? Apart from like a really gripping storyline, did you intend to have like social commentary inside your books?
So the thing about that genre, crime writing, is it is social commentary without planning to be. Okay. You're writing about crime. Crime is everything about a society. Crime is the politics of the day, is the power structures. It's born out of the problems you have in your society. You cannot write a crime thriller or a crime story without talking about the problems plaguing the society you're talking about. So naturally, this genre, of all genres, deals with the human condition. I think if you set out in your writing for a message or something, it'll come across as that in your writing. It'll come across as preachy. If you just write truthfully, especially in this genre of all genres, right, people will see a message. Sometimes it'll be a message you didn't even realize was there. Maybe it's a message that it was brought to your attention by your editor during editing, or maybe it's just there, you know, and you only discovered at the end that it's there, you know, and maybe it's something profound, and someone says to you in an audience, wow, I like what you did there, you really talked about this, and in your mind you're going, oh shit, I didn't know that was there, but you're like, yeah, that's what I was planning. You know, but I think if you write truthfully, you know, a crime story, thriller or police procedural or whatever, you will be addressing societal issues, like it or not.